morning, guys. It's just now 7 o'clock, 43 degrees, and it is Friday. I now have Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon. My brother and I are finally going to get to go for a sail. It looks like the weather's going to cooperate. Should have some pretty good wind. And then on Monday, I've got another whole day, and then I think we're heading home on Tuesday. But I got basically 3 full days left that I can get some stuff done around here. And the list is getting filled up of the things that we've gotten accomplished already. So anyway, just looking forward to it. The weather is cooperating big time. Just beautiful, beautiful weather all the way through. A little cool in the morning, but we can deal with that. I don't quit working just because it's cool outside. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go grab some breakfast. We'll be back out here, and we'll keep on shooting and show you the stuff that we're getting done aboard the Little Girl. Okay, so here we are in the back of the cockpit. I still haven't gone to breakfast, but I want to show you something. This is a piece that that guy cut, and he did indeed cut it. This was made to come out. So, well, let's put it this way. It was retrofitted to be able to get an outboard motor in here. Let's push this up. Okay. It was retrofitted to get an outboard motor in here to be able to get the handle through right there. I don't know why they would have to. It looks to me like they could just stuck it through this opening here. But anyway. And so what they did, they made a piece cut out, kind of a keystone affair, with screw holes that hold this piece in. And now I can put this down. I'll show you what I'm talking about. With a flange that comes out on each side, and the holes in the flange come in on the back, and they put screws through and hold this whole piece in place where it belongs. Okay, well, when this guy was wanting to get the outboard motor out, he cut the stew out of this. And then he finally figured, oh, wait a minute, there are screws there. He undid the screws, right? Okay, but not before he had already cut this one completely off on the other side. I mean, cut it completely off. And when I said, well, where is it? And then I realized, with this up, I reached around back, and this was caught right into place with those screw holes already lined up. He cut it completely off, and almost cut this one off before he realized, oh, all I gotta do is take the screws out. Anyway, so thank you very much. I feel badly for the guy that did this because he has brain cancer, and he's probably gone by now, but yeah, boy, I mean, he did a job on this. So, I wasn't planning to do any fiberglass work on this trip. This is the kind of thing I could do back in Vermont, is basically rebuild this. And that's to go in on the backside here, sand the daylights out of this down to some bare glass. Same on this side. And try to actually put this back together. And the thing is, I can go with a brand new, some heavy layers of fiberglass back here and epoxy in between to try to put this all back together. And by the way, I'm not objecting to having this as a fit-in right here. That was part of the whole idea of having my trim pieces, is to hold everything in place. Well, anyway, looks to me like the trim pieces may have to wait for another time. I'll get some markings on this, and I'll try to do the whole thing back up in Vermont. So this just came off the list with some prep work for work back in Vermont. So I'm not going to be doing this here, really. I'll just wait and go ahead and do all the fiberglass stuff up there, and I can even mark out and pre-cut my trim pieces. So, all right. Well, with that, I think I will finally go grab breakfast. So, hey, good morning, guys. Okay, project number 1 on getting this front of the lazarette, back of the cockpit thing squared away. I've sanded all the gel coat off from this, and this, and this. I'm going to epoxy to this, and I've got this all taped up so that I can just fill that with resin. Hopefully this all works. I have about probably 1.5 ounces of epoxy resin here, and I'm about to hit it with a hardener, and then we'll see how this goes. I'm not at all confident on this particular setup because of it's just an awkward setup, and because I've got this propped up in such a way with the tape, I'm hoping that I can fill all along this edge with epoxy and that edge there, and then put it in place and pull the tape up around the ends here, and get it to line up. Once that's lined up, I'll be able to go ahead and use, I've got some chop strand here, and I'm going to lay it over the stuff that I've got sanded off, and we'll kind of go from there. So, all right, wish me well. Not at all confident on this one, so hang on just a minute. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've done a fiberglass video. Let me just say that you can pay a lot of money for West Systems and all the accoutrements thereof, but I'll tell you right now, for a long time I've just used Bondo fiberglass resin, and believe it or not, it does exactly the same thing. It hardens up just nice and firm. I've never had it go bad on me. Okay, I just bought a brand new can this morning, and my only complaint about it is that the hardener comes in these little bitty tubes, and you always, when you get done using it, you want to make sure that you put it in a cup so it stands up. You do not want to lose that. In other words, let it leak out or something. When you get it, by the way, it's a solid top. You just take a pin or a tack and stick down through there, because you want to take a drop at a time. Next thing you want to know is that you're probably not going to be mixing up big batches. If you are, then the instructions are on the back. I usually mix it up in 2-ounce portions. And I bought these cheapo glasses at Walmart. Hang on. Yeah. And I pre-mark them for 2 ounces. And that's just 2 ounces right there. And with that, when I get ready to use it, I do 2 ounces of the fiberglass resin into this, fill it right to that line. Then I do 20 drops of the hardener, and then mix it with a mixing stick. Make sure you get a good thorough mixing, okay? If you want to use less than that, eyeball it. I think this time I only use like 1.5 ounces or something like that of the resin, and I put in maybe 15 drops instead of 20 of the hardener. Mix it all up, and I did the job that I'm about to show you. Now, that was that was unbelievably awkward what I just did, but it worked like a charm. Okay, in the first place, this is where the boatyard owner had cut down through with a fine saw. Obviously, you can almost tell just by looking at it. And what I did, I taped it off below so that I had a good solid like dam on the back of it, and then I just taped it up above here. So that wherever I could just feed it right into this thing. It did it completely solid. That is all full of fiberglass resin now. And I'll show you the results in a minute on that. Okay, and the next one, here's the other one. And this piece was cut completely off. And I managed to get the alignment is, I don't even believe it. The alignment is absolutely dead on perfect. And the cool thing is, not only did the resin go through the crack itself, or the seam, but you turn over on this side, believe it or not, I can see that seam is completely full of resin. And after I had everything lined up, I went ahead and put one good heavy layer of cut mat, cut strand down on that. And pour that full, and I'll tell you, here, let me get out my knife. I want you to hear this, because, for being $15 worth of resin, this does it very adequate. Okay, here's, okay, and here on the other side that was just cut. Okay, now I probably am going to go ahead and sand this out a bit and maybe put a layer of cloth over it. Maybe put a little bit on the back side of this. But this is a non-stress piece. All in the world that's going to happen is this is going to go in right here, okay, and screw through. And you know, these tabs here are just to hold this thing in place right in the middle like a keystone here. And then once those are done, then we're going to be able to go ahead and mount our Traveler, and we'll be ready to go. And also, when my wife gets back, I have the wood trim that's going to go on here above, between the Traveler and the underside of this lip. And I'm not going to need much of it now that I look at it. But all right, guys, that's it for fiberglass for right now. I got to get back to work. I'm going to do a little bit more finish work on this piece and strengthen it just a little bit more. I want to go ahead and sand this one out and throw a little bit of glass on this and maybe sand this and maybe put one more layer. And I think we're going to be good. I mean, it doesn't need any more than it has right now. So, all right, back to work. Just a brief postscript on the fiberglass. You're going to need a stirring stick besides the containers to stir everything. And I mean, I just have little rip-offs from my table saw. I kind of get those and break them up into pieces. But anyway, you're going to need a stirring stick. You're going to need rubber gloves, definitely. I mean, it keeps your hands from getting really, really messy. You can buy these at Home Depot for fairly cheap. Big old box of them that last you forever. I've got 2 boxes kicking around here. And a chip brush. And these are really, really cheap too. And anytime I buy this stuff, I buy a bunch. The chip brushes, I just as you know from other videos, I buy chip brushes and foam brushes, you know, six or a dozen at a time. That way I just always have them on hand. So anyway, this goes with the rest of the video that I was doing there on the fiberglass. So all right, on with the work. Well, the repair is all made, and I dug out the bag of screws that goes with the Traveler, and look what I found. These are the screws that go to this. Solid as a rock. We're all set. And all I'm going to need to do now is put some trim on this when this is closed, and it's not going to be much. Let me go ahead and put this down. There we go. Just a strip right along here, I guess. And then other than that, this, see if I can get it in here. Okay, there we go. Traveler's going to go right there like that. And you're not going to see much. Traveler's going to probably stay right about there most of the time, dead center. Anyway, so it'll be good. I'll just put a little piece of trim in here, mask that off. Got 2 white painted screws, probably. I don't know if that's gel coat or what, but anyway, we're good. We're good. I don't know if I'll mess with it down here. Probably not. Look, for this year, I think this is going to do well enough. Repair is all made on this. I'm really glad to get that done. And now we're just going to go ahead and get this Traveler mounted up, and we'll be on our way. Well, guys, it's done. The only thing that's not on there is the wood trim. And I'll tell you right now, as far as I'm concerned, I'll work on the wood trim, but it's not a priority right now. My thing is that that piece that had been cut out is completely fixed, back in place, solid, and the Traveler is screwed home. And right now, that makes this boat sailable in terms of the mechanics of at least having the Traveler where it's supposed to be, and kind of being able to go from there. By the way, you notice the tiller's not there. After having put all the work I did into the tiller, I took it off some time ago, wrapped it up, and it is safely stowed below until we get ready to put the old girl in the water. So, all right, another one of the things that we can check off the list. I'll maybe get to the wood part of that tomorrow, but like I said, the functionality of this is done. I got that section fixed that had been cut out, and the Traveler is where it belongs. All right, guys, well, here we are up on the bow. Everything's taped off to go ahead and do the bow chocks. This is kind of the last project, although because I'm so far ahead, we are going to be able to squeeze in one more. But anyway, just want to show you what we're doing. Everything's taped off here on the breast hook, and I taped off the bow chocks themselves. Let me tell you, taping off bronze ain't easy. From the first place, it's kind of weird folding it around the corners, but it also does not want to stick very well. So, but they're done, they're ready to go. I got to get the caulking on these, and then we're going to do this one last project. Guys, we're all taped off. Bow chocks are in place. Sadly, they did these screws at 2 different times. The starboard has the older round head set of screws, and shorter. Maybe the port is the older ones, and those are very long screws. They probably go all the way down through the block. But anyway, I don't want to go drilling out more holes. I may go pick up some round head screws from West Marine just to make it nice, but for the moment, everything's taped off. I'm going to pull these chocks off from here, and I'm ready to go do the caulking and kind of go from there. We'll, you know, just keep you up to date as things progress here. Well, guys, sad to say, I think that's a wrap for this trip. Amazing week. It's still sun shining out. Oh, man. Amazing. I was going to try to get the anchor light on the mast today, and I decided, no, that's for another trip. It's under another category. I've got the new anchor light right here, but that's getting into wiring, which is, it's not a problem to wire it. That's the easy part, but I've got to check out all the wiring in the mast and the deck harness. All that's going to be another whole trip, and I'm not going to, you know, what we've done for this trip is really kind of all under one category, and that's finish off stuff on deck. And boy, what a week it's been. What a week it's been. You know, began with doing the repair work on that that piece that had been cut out of the back of the cockpit. That's all done. The fiberglass work is all done. That's mounted, and the Traveler's been mounted. Then after that, we moved on and started making prep work on getting the combings in. You know, first of all, spent most of one day just doing prep work, and got the starboard combing in the first day. Then yesterday, which I was not expecting to get done, I mean, at the end of a long day of church and then going sailing with my brother, ended up getting the port combing in. Pulled all the tape on it. Both the combings are now permanently home. That's huge. Those things are restored. The combings were restored almost 2 years ago. Anyway, then let's see. We did not get the knot meter worked on. That's again, that kind of goes under the wiring stuff, and we'll do that another trip. Winches overhauled big time. What a big one that was, and I'm just so grateful that I was able to get those things pulled apart, all the parts completely cleaned, everything restored, greased, everything put back together, and it's fantastic. Both my winches are now completely up to date and ready to go. I got the bow chocks on today. Those are just, you know, I had restored the chocks a long time ago, and they're going to look fantastic up there on the you know, Randy, yeah, on the breast hook that has already been kind of restored up there. Not kind of, it has been restored. And then let's see, what was the last thing here? Yeah, no, I think that's about it. Anyway, you know, guys, big trip, a lot got accomplished. Little girl is a whole lot closer to going in the water. Look, we're going to call this a wrap. Hope you've enjoyed these episodes. I know that you know, at this point I haven't done them yet, but I know it's going to end up being a number of different episodes. One of them just being the sailing part of it. So, hey, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl, and we'll catch you on the next trip. And hope you enjoy these, and we'll keep even more coming out, because once we get home, we're going to be starting to finish up the cushions. That the parts have already been cut out, and I contacted my cushion girl down here, one of the ladies in the church who's a real pro at this, and I got her phone numbers, and I'm going to be able to call her and then consult as those get done. So, all right, guys. Hey, thanks for stopping by. God bless, and we'll catch you on the next.